The story of vitamins starts with food. Vitamins were discovered as a component of plants in the early 1900s, and when the benefits of these real food nutrients became known, scientists isolated the active ingredients in all the different types of food. Then pharmaceutical companies studied these ingredients and created synthetic imitations. Your body, or more specifically the trillions of cells that make up your body, don't recognize these synthetically manufactured isolates. They only recognize whole food. You see, there is scientific evidence that in food, vitamins and minerals are never found in a free or isolated state. They're always found bound together with other compounds. Today, the entire vitamin and mineral industry is dominated by a very small group of extremely large pharmaceutical companies that manufacture all of the synthetic vitamins that go into the thousands of brands of supplement that you find in the stores. Every one of these companies manufacture isolated chemical nutrients. These chemical nutrients are sometimes referred to as USP. This is the designation for isolated pharmaceutical grade nutrients. The minerals that you get in your daily supplement, as well as in many fortified foods, are for the most part simply crushed rock. Mined from the soil, crushed into powder, and put into tablets. These mineral salts are not in a form that the body can use. It doesn't make any difference whether you're buying basic children's chewables in the grocery store or expensive products from the mega vitamin store in the mall. You're probably getting the same synthetic vitamins in rock form mineral salts. Scientific studies on isolated vitamins and mineral salts indicate poor absorption, poor retention, and poor utilization. And unfortunately, in many cases, these ingredients can also come with negative side effects. Whole food contains vitamins and minerals surrounded by carrier food factors. These carrier food factors are the key to transporting these nutrients into the cells. Without them, the nutrients can be locked out and the cells starve. One of the pioneers in vitamin science was Albert St. Georgi. A world-renowned scientist and professor, he isolated vitamin C in 1928. He won the Nobel Prize for his work, but continued his research. He realized that these vitamin isolates were dead. St. Georgi wrote in his memoirs that during the isolation process, there was a compound that was much more potent than the isolated vitamin C alone. He went on to study this substance. It contained a variety of bioflavonoids, enzymes, and other carriers. One of Professor St. Georgi's students was Andrew Soleil. The idea of utilizing these carriers to feed the body intrigued him. Soleil set out to follow St. Georgi's work and discovered the process of harnessing these food factors. In this process, vitamins and minerals are complexed or bound to specific carrier food factors. This process may take from 8 to 48 hours. Constant monitoring and testing assures that the nutrients and food factors are completely assimilated into food matrix nutrients. This patented technology unlocks the mystery of how nutrients are transported into the cells. One of the key discoveries is work done by Dr. Günter Blobel. Dr. Blobel won the Nobel Prize in 1999 for discovering that proteins use a complex system to cross barriers within the cells. This research proves that nutrients do not simply float aimlessly in the bloodstream. There is a process the body uses to get these life-giving nutrients into our tissues so that they can be utilized to feed the cells. To get an idea of how well these nutrients work, researchers at Scranton University tested the effectiveness of food matrix nutrients and chemical isolates on baby mammals. A healthy baby, when given the right nutrients, will grow. This is because their cells divide and divide again, adding more and more cells. This process happens throughout our lives so that our bodies can develop and replace damaged cells. Researchers began by feeding the babies a special nutrient-deficient food for 2 weeks to get a starting point. They then split the animals into 2 groups, feeding one group food with isolates and the other food matrix nutrients for 4 weeks. They studied both groups during the 4 weeks weighing them and charting the progress. The food matrix group thrived. Given the nutrition their cells needed, they grew healthier and stronger. Their weight almost doubled in the 4-week period. On the other hand, the isolate or USP group had no growth. These babies whose cells were screaming for nutrition received no benefit from the isolated nutrients. As a matter of fact, their weight soon began to decline. One of the most important vitamins for our overall health is vitamin C. Food matrix vitamin C is produced by complexing vitamin C with specific protein carriers and a citrus pulp that contains the bioflavonoids and other compounds found in food. These carrier food factors are critical to transporting the nutrients into the cells. In a long-term study, food matrix vitamin C was found to be more than 12 times more bioavailable than synthetic ascorbic acid. Isolated ascorbic acid is a synthesized chemical. Ascorbic acid is dead, without the bioflavonoids and other food factors that allow it to be recognized as food and utilized by the body. Food matrix vitamin C is radically different. It has life. All of the food factors it needs are there and ready to do their job.
This is not a fair comparison. Here we are comparing food to a synthetic material. Synthetic material, only a percentage, a very, very small percentage of it gets really absorbed. Whereas food, 95+% of it is going to be absorbed by our body.
Synthetic vitamins can have a dark side. For many years, vitamin companies have promoted megadoses of many isolated vitamins, including synthetic vitamin C. These megadoses can have toxic effects. University of Pennsylvania researchers published their findings suggesting that traditional synthetic vitamin C supplements may actually help produce toxins that can damage DNA. This evidence is preliminary, and more studies are needed to confirm the effects of ascorbic acid on human cells. Food matrix vitamins have shown to have an incredible impact on your health without the potential toxic side effects of synthetic vitamins. Food matrix minerals are produced in a patented process where all of the carrier food factors are assimilated into a live culture. This process creates a kind of superfood where all of the proteins, carbohydrates, and other compounds are bound to minerals in a food matrix. These carriers are the key to feeding the cells. The protein acts as a chauffeur to minerals. It transports them directly to the cells. This process protects the body from toxic mineral deposits. Scientists are just beginning to understand the role that calcium and other minerals can play in disease in the body. Unfortunately, most of the calcium supplements available today are rock mined from the ground. This is a form that the body cannot use properly. Calcium carbonate, the most widely used form of calcium, is simply limestone. Limestone is found in many construction materials. It's used in sheetrock and is a major ingredient in concrete. In a study, food matrix calcium was found to be almost 900% better absorbed than calcium carbonate. The small amount of calcium carbonate that is absorbed can have toxic consequences. Without the protein chauffeurs and other carriers, minerals can be deposited into the wrong tissue. With calcium, these mineral deposits can show up in the kidneys as kidney stones, in women's breasts, and most critically can line the arteries as calcium plaque.
Now, one of the problems with this type of elemental calcium is that its bioavailability isn't as effective. A 100 milligram tablet may only give us about 3 milligrams of calcium being absorbed. Furthermore, that type of calcium tends to find its way into soft tissue rather than into bone. But with food matrix calcium, what we're beginning to see is that we have a greater deposition, a greater bioavailability of calcium, and it is targeted specifically to the bone. So the food matrix principle is turning out to be a boon in a number of ways. A, it improves the pathology more rapidly at a lower cost and with greater efficiency than any other form of elemental calcium that we've ever tried. So this is an enormous shift in productivity for us in terms of how patients benefit from the food matrix substances.
In over 30 years of medicine, I have never seen anything that could have as dramatic an impact on the world's health than food matrix nutrients. These real food nutrients are recognized by the body as food, and at a cellular level, they work with the body for optimal health. Not only do we have the positive clinical results from studies all over the world, but more significant, doctors are seeing tremendous results from their patients using Food Matrix. Solid scientific evidence now points to real food nutrients as the answer to the world's nutritional needs. We now have credible scientific proof that nature truly does know best. The long-term impact of these nutrients on the health of people all over the world will be measured for years to come.